Most men walk through life completely unaware of the power they hold. They think women will come up and spell it out. Hey, I like you. But reality doesn't work that way. Women are subtle, careful, and emotionally intelligent. They don't always express attraction directly. They express it through behavior, through subtle signs. And the man who learns to see these signs becomes unstoppable. He no longer chases. He chooses. In this video, I'll show you 8 powerful signs that a woman is attracted to you, even if she's trying to hide it. Watch carefully, because once you learn these signs, you'll never look at women the same way again. Sign 1. Her eye contact lingers. Most men walk through life blind to the quiet signals that speak louder than words. A woman's eyes can say what her lips never will, not in poetry, but in biology. When she locks eyes with you, even for a second longer than necessary, that's not coincidence. It's nature working through subtle cues. Maybe she glances, looks away, then glances again. Or maybe her gaze holds, unbroken, saying everything and nothing at once. You don't need to react. You don't need to play the fool who rushes toward. Attention like it's oxygen. Attraction, when real, speaks softly. It doesn't scream. Her dilated pupils, the shift in her body language, the rhythm of her gaze. These are quiet invitations, not commands. A man who knows himself doesn't chase validation. He registers it like a passing cloud. Real, worth noticing, but not worth following. You'll find that many men pretend not to see these signs, not because they're blind, but because they're attached to a fantasy, a woman who doesn't see them, or worse, a woman who used to. Denial is easier than acceptance, especially when acceptance means walking away. But the Stoic path demands that you see clearly and act with dignity. When you sense that look, don't flinch, don't fumble, don't inflate your ego. Just nod inwardly and carry on. Her gaze is not a prize, it's a moment. And a man who knows his worth never trades silence for validation. Sign 2. She mirrors your behavior. You might have seen it happen. You shift in your seat, and moments later, she does the same. You touch your face, and her hand drifts up without thought. This isn't magic, and it's not coincidence. It's called mirroring, a subtle, unconscious pull that happens when attraction simmers beneath the surface. Most men miss it, not because it's hidden, but because they're blind to anything that doesn't speak in words. They tell themselves it's nothing, or worse, that it means everything. But here's the truth. When a woman mirrors you, it's not a trophy, it's a reflection. Her body is reaching, feeling, sinking to something she senses in you. It's instinctual, not intentional. But the Stoic doesn't get swept up in that. He sees the mirroring, accepts it without clinging to it. You don't change your behavior to keep her attention. You don't act in hopes of being watched. You move as you would whether she's in the room or not. Steady, composed, whole. Because true strength isn't proven by how much someone mirrors you, but by how little you need them to. Let her follow your rhythm, but don't perform for her gaze. You are not here to chase reflection. You are here to live with intention. And when attraction appears in silence, you acknowledge it, not with pride, not with hunger, but with calm. A man anchored in himself does not need a mirror to know where he stands. Sign 3. She touches you, even lightly. Physical touch is powerful, not just in sensation, but in what it quietly signals. When a woman laughs and her hand grazes your forearm, when her fingers linger a moment too long as she hands you something, or when she leans in just a little too close in conversation. These are not random acts. They are calculated in their subtlety, often unconscious, but never meaningless. She is crossing a boundary most women instinctively protect. Think about it. Would a woman you made uncomfortable voluntarily shrink the space between you? Would she allow her skin to brush against yours if she didn't feel a level of safety or curiosity? These small touches, these so-called accidents, are rarely accidents at all. They are quiet invitations, a kind of unspoken permission. But here's where most men fail. They confuse the invitation for the destination. They react too quickly, too eagerly, chasing validation through physical response. The strong man, the grounded man, doesn't chase. He notices. He holds presence. He feels the heat of her nearness, the charge in the air, and he lets it burn without trying to consume it. That restraint, that quiet refusal to reach, creates tension, the kind that draws her in more deeply. Because attraction is not built on quick reactions, but on composed awareness. Presence isn't passive, it's powerful. When you don't flinch, don't rush, don't seek, you show her that you are in control of yourself. And in that calm, you become the mystery she wants to solve. Sign 4. She asks about other women. Jealousy is a loud whisper, subtle to the ear, yet unmistakable when you know what to listen for. It doesn't show up in grand gestures or dramatic confessions. It slips in sideways, half hidden in playful remarks and questions laced with curiosity. If she starts casually asking who you've been spending time with, if you're seeing someone, or drops a teasing, "But all the girls are chasing you," don't mistake it for idle chatter. She's not just being friendly, she's assessing the field, calculating her position in your world. Behind the smirk is a spark of possessiveness. She's checking for rivals. She wants to know, am I the only one? Do I still have his attention? This moment isn't about ego. It's a test of your emotional balance. Most men trip here, rushing to prove their worth, eager to flex their appeal. But a grounded man does the opposite. He doesn't explain. He doesn't clarify. He doesn't feed the fire. He lets it burn on its own. A raised eyebrow, a half smile, a light deflection, that's all it takes. Keep it playful, stay vague, and most importantly, remain unfazed. Why? Because a Stoic man understands the power of uncertainty. Mystery is magnetic. When she can't fully read you, her curiosity grows. And in that space between what she knows and what she wants to know, desire quietly takes root. Let her wonder. Let her feel that small ache of not knowing. That's where attraction begins. Sign 5. She finds ways to be around you. Women who are genuinely drawn to you will rarely make it obvious. Instead, they position themselves where your world naturally moves. You start noticing her at your gym, at the local cafe you frequent, or suddenly showing up at a mutual friend's party she never attended before. It's subtle, almost imperceptible at first. She might pretend it's all just coincidence, but deep down, you know better. This isn't fate, this is quiet strategy. She's entering your orbit, hoping proximity will open a door. A sideways glance, a casual fancy seeing you here, even a brush of her shoulder as she passes. These aren't random. They're invitations written in body language. But here's where most men falter. They respond with too much eagerness, abandoning their rhythm to chase hers. And in doing so, they collapse the very mystery that sparked her interest. Ask yourself, when has something easily gained ever truly held your respect? A high-value man doesn't pivot his life around a woman's sudden presence. He sees her approach, feels her pull, but stays grounded. He remains purposeful in his movements, like a mountain unmoved by the wind. Let her come closer, curious, about your stillness, your direction, your quiet certainty. Because the moment you start revolving around her, you're no longer the sun, you've become a satellite. And that's not where strength lives. Sign 6. She laughs. Even when you're not that funny. Genuine laughter, unforced, unfiltered, and spontaneous, is one of the purest signs of attraction. It's not just about punchlines or clever timing. When she laughs at your average jokes, the ones even you know aren't that funny, it's not a commentary on your stand-up career. It's chemistry. It's her subconscious signaling connection. Her eyes light up, her posture softens, and her laughter lingers just a second too long. Why? Because when a woman is drawn to you, her brain doesn't just process your words, it reacts to your presence. Dopamine floods her system, turning simple conversations into electric moments. Even your worst puns suddenly feel like gold to her. But here's the catch: don't chase that reaction. Don't become a performer juggling for approval. A Stoic man understands that validation is fleeting, and seeking it is weakness in disguise. He remains centered, unmoved, and grounded in his presence. It's that calm, self-contained energy, the quiet confidence in his tone, the stillness in his gaze, that pulls her in deeper. Ironically, it's not the joke, but the man who tells it without needing her laugh, who becomes unforgettable. Sign 7. She plays with her hair or fidgets around you. Body language never lies. It's the silent truth her mouth won't say, but her body can't help but reveal. When she tucks her hair behind her ear, even though it's already in place. When her fingers linger at the hem of her dress just a second too long, or when she bites her lip mid-sentence, she's not doing it by accident. These aren't rehearsed moves, they're instinctual reactions. Micro-adjustments driven by the age-old dance of attraction. Nervous energy crackles in the air, thick and electric. You might call it butterflies, or tension, or just that strange, magnetic pull that makes time slow down when you lock eyes. But whatever name you give it, it's real. And here's where most men fail. They draw attention to it, breaking the spell. Don't. Say nothing. Let the silence speak for you. Stand your ground. Stay composed. Let your stillness contrast her restlessness. Hold eye contact like it's a challenge you've already won. Add a slight, knowing smile. Not cocky, not eager, just calm. Confident, unmoved. Because that's how masculine energy draws her in. Not by chasing, not by reacting, but by creating a space where her desire has room to rise, wordlessly. Sign 8. Her friends know who you are, if her friends already seem to know your name. Exchanging secretive glances or letting out soft giggles as you walk by, or if their behavior shifts subtly when you're near. These are clear signs she's been talking about you behind the scenes. Women rarely keep attraction private. They communicate it through their closest circle, like signals sent through a quiet network. Imagine her friends watching you closely, testing your confidence with playful jabs or trying to draw you into their conversations. This means you're no longer just a stranger passing by. You've quietly been placed on her radar, a topic of interest and speculation. But here's where the path of the Stoic diverges sharply from the typical chase. Don't scramble to win over her friends or put on a show to gain their approval. You're not here to perform for an audience or to prove yourself to a crowd hungry for entertainment. Instead, your power lies in calm, unshakable presence. Ground yourself like a sturdy oak tree amid a gusty storm. Let your value resonate through your silence, your steady gaze, and your unbothered composure. Can you feel the difference between loud desperation and quiet strength? It's in that unspoken space that true attraction breathes, and it doesn't need to be shouted out loud. Conclusion: all of these signs are signals, not certainties. Attraction is energy, vibe, subtle. It's not about chasing validation or needing confirmation. It's about awareness. The Stoic man walks into a room and sees everything, but speaks nothing. He doesn't chase attention. He earns it by presence. Confidence is not loud. It's not in showing off. It's in knowing who you are, what you offer, and that you don't need to beg for love. Women respect mystery. They admire strength. They're drawn to calm, collected energy. Be that man. Watch how everything changes. Subscribe if you're ready to master attraction through discipline, not desperation.